Hey, well, welcome to another edition of the Lifestyle Show. I'm here with my good friend, Cassandra Willis, the author of the book, The Day I Committed Spiritual Suicide. She's here with me on Skype, and thank you. I actually see you in person, young lady. Thank you for coming on the Lifestyle Show. I appreciate
Thank you.
it. Yeah, yes. I'm like a little thing on a little fly on your thing. I see you on the big screen, So I don't know how you see me though, but I'm kind of a big guy though, really. But no, but again, hey, this is something different, new that we're doing, and I'm glad you're part of it, Cassandra. Because we got a lot to talk about in our half hour that we're doing the show. First off, I just want to say, hey, everybody out there, this is Monday, the fifth day before we vote. So I want to just make a close. You already know that everybody needs to vote out there. Don't complain. If you complain, you need to vote. If you don't vote, don't complain. So I want to say that. I want everybody to vote. When I know you probably voted already, Cassandra.
Yes, I have.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, what's going out there in Texas, out there in Dallas?
Well, everything is going on in Dallas, and so in Texas, period. The slogan is "Everything is big in Texas."
Right.
And
yeah.
so,
yeah.
so everything is like oversized, and so the election is a big deal, and everybody is really getting involved. I voted last Saturday afternoon. Yes, I did, and it was a really good experience. Things went well, didn't have a whole lot of issues or drama, just went in, did what I had to do, and came on out.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
You didn't have to worry about no voting and stopping to vote and all that craziness.
No.
What's going on out there in Georgia.
None of that.
Which is,
none of that.
It's kind of a sad
I think
thing.
what it is because a lot of people are just tired of the craziness, and so they just want to make this an easy, smooth transition, for you to go in, do what you got to do, and come on out of there. Yeah.
Right. Oh, wow. That's good. Yeah, you're right. I'm over it. Hey, you know what?
Yeah.
I voted. I'm over it. Everything's good. It's gonna be what it is. I'm hoping that the right people get in. The right enough people go out there and vote. We get the right people in. Next year should be a whole brand new year for us.
Absolutely.
Moving forward in a positive way. So yeah. So Dad, girl, you look so different on the big screen, young lady.
So is that a good thing or a bad thing?
It's a good thing, young lady. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. It really is. I mean, now you got your book that's out, The Day I Committed Spiritual Suicide.
Yeah.
We talked a little bit about that. And so could you give us a little bit of a rundown, the makeup type of book it is so people could to know?
Well, the type of book it is, it's a true story drama, but it's based around real life issues, spiritual things. It's based around more so of a church setting, but it breaks it down to the realization of how we think, even though we are believers or we've made Jesus Christ the Lord of our life, we all still have some type of demon or devil to deal with, or some type of habit or issue that causes us to fall short. Because God is a just and he's a forgiving God, but yet sometimes we take for granted the forgiveness law, as I call it. And so, but that's what the book is about. It's about, individuals that are Christians, believers, but yet they made a decision to do things that is considered worldly or ungodly type things, and consequences were great.
Wow,
and so, but other than that, it's really it's a story that will really help you make a wise decision, to help you see yourself in a situation. It may not be that identical or exact situation that has taken place, but it will draw you into a place where it will make you think twice.
Mm-hmm.
I always say think before you do.
Right.
Those type of things like that. So it's just, and it's an eye opener. It'll make you laugh. It'll make you cry. It'll bring back, memories and issues of things that you've done in the past that you're saying, you know what, I wish I could have made a better choice.
Right.
But, we don't live in regret. I don't teach that.
Mm-hmm.
I teach that take full responsibility for your actions, no matter what it is and what part you played.
Right.
And move forward, because living in regret doesn't change anything. It only keeps you stuck in
the past. So you take responsibility for it and you keep it moving. And so that's pretty much what the book does. It encourages you biblically as well as natural things. It can get really dramatic in some cases. Yeah, it can get real
Okay, everybody
dramatic.
likes the
And then
dramatic sometimes, you know?
yeah. And then
Yeah.
it'll reel you back in. You know, I've had some people that have actually purchased a book to take with them on vacation, and they was like, it was one of the best reads that they have, ever experienced. And they really came back and they endorsed, the book, on social media, because they were like, you know what, it is a great read. Like I shared with you in the last interview, one of my sisters was one of the first people to purchase the book, and your family is your worst critic.
That's right.
And
That's exactly right.
her first response was, wow, this is a good book. For your first book, this is a good book, and it's a great read. And it's not, like I said, it's not a thick book. It's a quick read. And but it gets right to the point.
Yes.
That's just what it gets right to the point. And a lot of pastors have asked, can I preach that message? I'm like, no, that's my message,
Yeah, they can take credit for what you're doing, huh?
Yeah. I don't want you to take credit for my message,
Right.
So, let me, get my feet wet with that for a minute, and then you can, go in and add your, tidbit to it. But it's a good read, and it's a good first book. And, it's doing its thing. I hadn't had a lot of time to promote it, but now that, the tables have turned, and, I believe that the book will be revised, and it will, turn out to be a good thing.
Right. Oh, definitely. Now, this is your first book. Now, you were telling me that you kind of got ideas for your second one.
The second one is The Day I Committed Spiritual Suicide, dealing with rebellion.
Okay.
And rebellion is a big thing,
Oh, yes. We all have done that.
Yes. And so a lot of times you find yourself using rebellion when you talk about children, but no, rebellion, it can be done spiritually, naturally, in every area of our life, whether it's children, adults, whatever. We can all rebel against what is right, because we want what we want. And so instead of just taking that road of doing right, we choose to go the opposite way, because we think that it's going to make us feel better. It's going to give us that instant gratification. And I always share, stay away from the instant gratification, because it doesn't mean you any good, because that's just for a moment. When you're going to make a decision, you make sure that decision is for either a lifetime or is for a temporary situation. Don't make a permanent decision that will cause you a lifetime of agony and grief and pain. And sometimes we do that. And so that's my next, book idea, is the spiritual suicide based upon the spirit of rebellion.
Oh, wow.
And, which is a big thing right now. So.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my goodness. What's going on in the day with people and and with the politics and all the other craziness, whatnot, what people get involved with, and people come out the woodwork doing crazy stuff. That should be a very, very good read. But but a little bit, we talked a little bit about your background and a little bit about how you got started in doing writing. Share us a little bit about that.
Well, my writing started in my associate's degree program. I was studying communication and Kaplan University, and I was actually given a writing coach, and I thought it was because my papers were bad. I found out it was because I had a lot to say, and my papers were very interesting and bold in my expressions on whatever topic that the professors or the instructors would give us to speak to. And then at the same time, moving forward into my bachelor's program, I studied psychology and applied behavior science. Right. So everything I do is about people. And so in my studies, I was also asked at Ashford to do a syndicated radio show. Okay. But I wasn't prepared to do that, because they were reading my papers and they were like, you really have a lot to say. And so I didn't really think, that it was going to that level. But I just decided one day, I received an email, and out of the blue, it was two publishing companies, asking for new playwrights titles, new authors, and I had the title for over 10 years, as we shared in the last interview, and I decided to submit it and move forward from there. I had no idea, didn't know where to start. Writing was not in my view. I was trying to be a star and a business owner,
Right. There you
I
go.
wasn't trying to be an author.
Uh-huh.
And so I decided to accept the challenge, and I began writing. And I had spoke to one of my sisters, my older sister. She was like, just sit down and just start writing.
Yes.
She said, and everything would just fall into place. And then I started remembering some of the people that I had met along the way prior to the book deal. And one was a playwright, so she helped me with the theatrical parts of the book. And then my sister and her husband, he was a co-author of the agriculture book. He helped me with the grammar and diction and, proper wording and settings. And then I've had, other people come in. I mean, it was just like a team effort. And it just, in between my studies of finishing my bachelor's program, I was writing a book at the same time. And I finished both projects at the same time. So that was an accomplishment for me because it showed me my discipline. I was disciplined. I was able to focus on more than one thing and stick to the plan. And we got it done. So that's kind of like how the book thing came about.
Oh my goodness. See, that's a wonderful story because, I mean, you persevered. You started on one direction, and God wound up turning you into a different direction.
Yeah.
And that's how it usually happens, when you
Absolutely.
when you pray about things and when God is in your life or whatnot, you think you're going one way and you end up going a whole different way. But that way that you go up is the best way that you should be going to anyway. So
absolutely,
so,
absolutely.
I know now. I know you got you've been doing lecturing back in the past. You're motivational speaker. Tell us a little bit about that because you was starting doing that, or you might be start back getting into that.
I started doing motivational speaking back in the 90s, and actually I started, when I think back, I started early in life. I was in the third grade the first time I stood at a podium,
Third
and
grade.
I was asked to, I was in the third grade and was asked to narrate the school assembly program. In the third grade, I had attended Bellevue Elementary School in Richmond, Virginia, and it was a model school, so it was almost like what you call similar to an academy where the children do kind of advanced things outside of the academics. You study trades and find out your gifts and abilities and things of that nature. And so that's when I found out I wasn't afraid of people. And standing on that, they got that little box and stood me up on that box, and I was at that mic, and I just did my thing, and so, but it was kind of unusual as a child. We're going to go back a little bit. My mother used to say, because I was a thumb sucker. I used to suck my thumb.
Oh yeah, me too. Who hasn't done that?
Yeah, this thumb right here.
It was this thumb mine. Yeah, oh my goodness,
my
boy,
mother
that
was like, the day I stopped sucking my thumb, she was like, "Oh my God," and because I was an introvert, and then all of a sudden realized that I was an extrovert, a strong extrovert, and so it was like I had a lot to say. Yes. And different talents and abilities and gifts started coming out and being developed and formed, things of that nature, singing. And, I'm not the best singer, but, a lot of people would call on me to do certain things and things like that. And so, but the speaking was a passion. I found out that I was really good at it as a hairstylist when I moved into the hair industry. I found out that people, my voice made a difference. People trusted what I had to say, so I had to be careful about that because the power of persuasion was very dominant. And so I had to make sure that I was using my gift wisely and not to take advantage or abuse people, but my words, I had to choose my words carefully.
Right.
And even in that industry. And so then spiritually, when I started studying the Word of God and doing different things and working in church settings and working with nonprofits, it was very prevalent that was one of the gifts that God had called me to, and that was speaking and teaching, and preaching the Word of God. And so, as time goes on, we'll see where it takes me, and what it's going to do. But I I only move when he says move. I only say what he tells me to say. And right now I have a page on Facebook that called Change Your
Okay.
Mind, Change Your Life. And
Okay.
it's really,
Yep.
really making a difference.
Really.
I had one little small statement, about, when you pray and you ask God for help, he will help you, and it was based upon that, topic. And it just was overwhelming, for people that really, really just wanted to hear just, okay, so when I ask God to help me, he will. Yes, he
Yes.
will. Something simple, no dramatics, not a whole lot of drama, in my ministry. Is just that I say what God tells me to say, and I keep it moving,
There you go.
It's
That's
just,
right. Keep it moving.
you're not
Yeah.
gonna get a whole
Yeah.
lot of dramatics, but
Right.
you're gonna get some truth. You're gonna
Right.
get some. You might get a whipping, it
There you
might be a
go.
little
Yeah.
harsh,
Discipline.
but it
Yeah.
is what it is. Yeah, some discipline, but it is what it is.
Uh,
I just say what I have to say, and I keep it strictly based upon the word. And I might throw a little me in there, but after it's
uh-huh.
all over, you'll be like, okay, I get it, and it's all good.
Yeah, yeah. So that's a blessing. So I mean, yeah, you keep things simple. You don't try to
Yeah, keep it
muddy the
simple.
waters or do anything
Yeah,
out the box, whatever like that. You just straightforward. And that's what people
yeah,
need nowadays. People try to go to excitement and
oh
horns
yeah,
and
oh
whistles,
yeah,
whatever that
oh
type of
yeah,
stuff. But nowadays it's too much of that going on anyway, and
yeah,
it's all fake. So yeah, you want to keep
yeah.
it straight. Whatever you feel is laid on your heart, and then you say it because that's what people need nowadays anyway.
Yeah,
Uh,
because I'm
um,
not gonna use words I can't spell,
there you
and
go.
that's all the time. I'm like, so you talking to me? Can you spell what you just told me?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna try to
No.
keep it simple.
Yes.
Occasionally, some of
Yes.
those words might come out, but I'm
Uh-huh.
not gonna take you there because sometimes you need simplicity, like you just said.
Right.
People need, you need to keep it simple. You need to keep it layman's terms
Yes. That's
so
right.
everybody can identify with what you have to say, and
There you go.
nobody is left out of the truth or a different way to do something,
Right.
to help
Right.
save themselves.
Right. Right. Now,
Yeah.
now, with your book there that you're coming out with, that's out now. Where can people kind of go and reach out to that book? Where can people get the book at? So.
You can purchase the book at barnesandnoble.com, Books a Million,
Mm-hmm.
Amazon.com. It's over 2,500 different book locations
Mm-hmm.
that is available. Even you can go to the actual publishing company itself. It's Libris. They are always ready to
Okay.
ship you out a book or a digital copy of the book itself.
Mm-hmm. And
And
it's a paperback
yeah.
or is it a
Yeah, it's
paperback?
paperback. It's paperback, and
Okay.
they actually have. And I believe the last I checked, if you wanted a hardbound copy, they would do that as well.
Mm-hmm.
That's available as well. And but the last time I spoke with the company, they were trying to do a distribution and get it into Barnes and Noble and Books a Million
Right. Right.
for
Stores.
actual where you can actually go pick it up off the shelf.
Right.
Hmm.
Yeah. That'd be a wonderful thing. The
Yeah.
day I committed spiritual suicide is seems
Yeah.
like a must read. It's based on some things in your life,
Yeah.
which is always fascinating. What people
Yeah.
go through because you know what, everybody got a story.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. And I tell people all the time, I'm like, you know what? Stop frowning and shunning people because the smartest person has made a bad decision,
There you go.
or chose or went down a road that wasn't great because you don't know where the mind is at that
Yeah.
time. You
Right.
don't know what the
Right.
need is, the
Right.
desire that causes that person to choose to
Mm-hmm.
do what they do. We all have choices, but sometimes our appetite for something is so great, it's so strong, but yet we refuse to succumb to the reality or the realization that I don't need that. That's
Mm-hmm.
not good for me. I
Mm-hmm.
don't care who else is doing it or who else has it. This is not good for me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And learn
Right.
how to say no and walk away from it.
Right. If we
And with
all could
no
do that, we'd
regret.
be better.
No
Yes.
regret.
We'd be
Hmm.
better, better place, a better place in this
Yeah.
world. We all can
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
that mindset, that will, that we can walk
Yeah.
away from temptation, walk away
You
things
don't
that,
always have to
yeah,
say yes to everything.
right, right,
Like
right.
if it's a saying called practice the ministry of no. You
Mm-hmm.
know,
Yes.
you're sleep better at night. Let me put
There
it
you
that
go.
way. You'll sleep better
There
at
you're
night.
conscious, yeah, because I know for
Yeah,
me,
yeah.
you know, I know in the scripture says things that I shouldn't do, I do. Things that I should
Right,
do, I don't. And you know,
right.
I always pray the Lord to reverse that around and make me to a place where things that I should do, I do. Things that I shouldn't do, I don't do. That's where I'm getting at in my life. And you know,
That's
just
wisdom. That's called wisdom. You need to
yes,
ask God for more wisdom.
yes,
Wisdom and knowledge. We're so busy asking for other things. We need to ask Him for more wisdom, more knowledge, more understanding,
right, right,
and favor. And
yes.
because favor is worth more than anything we could ever imagine.
Oh my
You know, it's
goodness.
okay to have a lot of money, but look at the people that have the money and how miserable they are.
Yes,
You know,
without a
but if
doubt.
you have favor sometimes it will put you in a place where you know what, you live in no regret. You know,
Uh-huh.
I've never seen, you know, any regrets when favor has been in
Right.
play,
Yeah,
you know.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly right. Yeah. I agree with that. I know we probably got about 5 minutes left in the segment now. Last time, you know, not to change the subject, you know, because the book is good. The
Oh,
Day of
that's
Spiritual Suicide. It's a good read. We know where you can get that at. I know people are going to get that. Now, you were telling me a little bit about that you had an encounter kind of with Bill Cosby back in the day.
mhm.
Um, kind
Yeah,
of expand
yeah.
just a little bit
I was, yeah,
your experience.
I was about 19 years old when I first met Bill Cosby.
Uh-huh.
I was asked to go to New York. Actually, I was modeling. I was doing a lot of ads. I was doing some runway. I wasn't runway material,
Hmm.
but I had the presence that a lot of designers like to use me, you know, because of my presence and things of
Right.
that nature. And so I met Bill Cosby back in 1985, I believe it was.
Hmm.
It was either the summer of 84, 85.
Right.
And he was, we developed a relationship. He decided to help me and he put me in acting school. He had actually one morning he called Peter Golden and asked him that he had two young ladies. It was myself and another young lady that were interested in going to acting school. And so Peter Golden called around and found a school in the Village of New York called HB Studios in the
Hmm.
Village.
Hmm.
And he signed us up for school, and we were off to school and doing our thing. And he used to have a session with me. He used to meet with me 15 minutes every morning to find out at the NBC studio in Brooklyn, New York, where I was I happy, was there anything else that I wanted to do that he could assist me with in
Hmm.
moving forward.
Hmm.
And so the relationship was going really well. And he had called Beverly Johnson. She was
Hmm.
my mentor, assigned
Hmm.
mentor. That's why I was really kind of shocked and disappointed to find out that she was on the ticket as
Hmm.
an accuser of him, you know, supposedly doing the
Hmm.
things that they said he did.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I couldn't see it. There were no signs of it. He never displayed that with me. He never displayed that with the young lady that I had became acquainted with,
Hmm.
or any of the actors, female actors on the set of the show. And so it was very, very disturbing. I share with other people, I have an idea of those that could have done the
Hmm.
things that they accused him of.
Hmm.
Of course, yes, he's a great man. He's fell from grace to a certain degree,
Hmm.
but the extreme of holding on to something for 30 or 40 years,
Hmm.
that is a spiritual suicide
Hmm.
moment. Because
Hmm.
you mean to tell me you have lived all of those years and you waited until the man is 80 years old to accuse him
Hmm.
of a situation that, I mean, come on now. You could have got help, moved on, lived your life, but we all know that it's politics and there are other things that are
Hmm.
involved in
Hmm.
it. But I have never had an experience with him.
Hmm.
He was a very generous man. He was a decent man. He was a caring individual.
Hmm.
And I was just very, very shocked and disappointed at a few people that did co-sign
Okay.
uh, his demise, you know, to a certain degree. And but I always feel, my theory is I always feel that he accepted the I guess the guilty plea because he was covering for someone else, because someone that I believe that really was behind it,
Hmm.
um, he was sick and older, and he couldn't handle prison time.
Mm.
And so,
That's
because of my personal experience, I had an experience with another individual that was in that community. And, but I don't understand it and it doesn't make sense. But I can say that the man was very good to me.
Okay. Right.
And,
Just sharing your story, what you've been through. That's your, that's your experience with Bill Cosby. That's, that's what I was wondering, because we talked a little bit about that, and everybody kind of falls from grace, and, only God knows. And I just continue to pray. Me, myself, I pray for Mr. Cosby. I pray for him and the situation, and I pray for everybody that actually is going through those bad times that someone else did that to. I pray for them, because it's really a sad thing that no one should go through any type of abuse. I don't know whether it be a woman or man. That should never happen to anybody, So I want to get that clear. I just
absolutely,
and I truly believe in the Me Women's movement. That's a good thing that should be happening in today's society, because a lot of these big stars, these whatever, get away with that because they're of their reputation. That the ones that really should be caught. I mean, it's really a shame that because you get that power. Because with great power comes great responsibilities. These people get to their heads and they think they can do anything they want. Someone from the top in politics have done that, and they still get away with it. And we know who that person is. So it's election year, that type of thing. But I think that God's going to hold him accountable one day. I may not see it, but one day it's going to happen. He's going to be accountable for his actions, what he did. So we only got 3 minutes left in this segment. So, I want to say thank you for sharing your story and your book. I want you to come back on when you have your second one coming out. Talk to us, a little bit about that rebellions, the day committed spiritual suicide, rebellions. That's going to be a good read, because that's going to get into some juicy things in people's life. So I definitely, Cassandra, thank you, and I hope you get back into modeling, I think you'd be really.
Oh no, I'm past that stage.
You never know.
That was in my younger days, and it was just a thing that someone discovered me, in a sense, and we tried our hand at it, and I found out that it wasn't really. I didn't have a hunger for it.
Okay.
I only did it because someone asked me to do it. But it wasn't, my first go-to in life, So I went home after I left New York, and I became a hairstylist, and I was very successful at that. Started my own business and became a platform stylist, and my face has been seen all over the world in the hair industry.
Well, that's
and
wonderful.
I just made a name for myself. But you know what? You get that scandal thing in every arena. It doesn't matter where you are and what you do. People always want you to sell your soul for something.
Right. There you go. I'm glad you haven't done that.
Yeah, you got to be strong and be able to stand, and I've done that. So.
Yeah. Well, thank you again for coming on my show, Lifestyle Show, and much success in your career and writing and books and being an author and also public speaking. So it's a blessing, and I know everybody's going to have a good read to you. So I want to say thanks again, and I'll definitely talk to you next time. Okay.
All right, you're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Oh, no problem. Well, that was Cassandra. I want to say really quickly that I want to give a shout out to some two people called the Irish Twins. They saw the show. They liked the show. I said I would shout out to them. I'm gonna say shout out to the Irish Twins. They watch the show and they shop at a store that I work at. So shout out to them. Shout out to my mom. I love you, Mom. Also to my close friends that I really care about. I'm gonna shout out. Give me a camera. I'm over here, and shout out to them and to someone that's in my life that's really been a part of my life. And I'm okay. You got me in this camera right here. So shout out to y'all, Mom. Shout out to hey, and to Denzel Washington, man. I'll have you on the show next time, but I had to have Cassandra on my show. So Denzel, we'll have you next time on the show, man. Don't give up on me, man. Okay? Don't give up on me. So I want to say, in pardon. Everybody's election eve. Y'all keep out there, vote to conscience.
That's
Please.
right.
Don't change, vote. Don't talk about it. Don't be discouraged. Vote. I don't care. We need a change in the society. So I say wrap it
Absolutely.
up. So next time I want to say everybody keep style and profile, and also keep it classy. Always, as always, keep it classy on the Lyle Style Show. Bye.